What is up, everybody? So, today we're going to South Africa. So, since we're going that way, soon we'll be South America. So, okay. So I just need to keep going straight. So where was I? Is this south? Yeah, there's a random island. Wait, what do I have? If I open DMs, yeah. Let's go take it to here. Alright, so we might be somewhere right there. Oh, we're right in front of South America. Okay. I think, yeah, because there's sand right there. So we need to go this way. Grab sugar cane. Not a keep stone. Because I don't know if I'll need it. Yeah, let's get back on the road. Oh, the water. You get what I'm saying. It's a lovely day out, guys. So, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I might not. So, the Left 4 Dead 2 video. I love it. Alright. Something you should know about me. I love playing Left 4 Dead 2. Here, I'll pull up Steam real quick. I have 20 hours. I have 24 hours on this game. I have a whole day's worth, and I didn't even get the game that long. Chat, let me join this PC. Alright. Let me look at the map real quick. Oh no, this... Do I have enough room? I'm on my way. So, yeah. Guys, we could go to Australia, because that is a Badlands. Choose your fighter. Let's put Q up. Which one's choose your fighter? For now, look at that. Alright. What? Okay. Okay, I think this one's better than the lo-fi, but you guys have to let me know. I made it to the portal. Fill my veins with artificial love, go known to escape the pain. Fill my drink, pour one up for myself.
body yesterday. Fill my veins with artificial love, go numb to escape the pain. Fill my drain.
Wait, I went the whole wrong way.
Fuck, left and I lost it. Why'd I throw my heart in the middle of the mosh pit?
Yo,
Running from it all and it's getting
fire.
exhausting. It's marathon shit like I'm winning the Boston. I called last week, guess you got busy. I must have hit you 9 times like I shot 50. And I said I was alright, but I'm not really. Like I thought I was alright, but it got tricky. You see, on the outside, I'm a house with a white picket fence. On the inside, I'm a mess. Gotta come clean, I got things to confess. From the foundation, I'm deeply depressed. And it get a little harder to breathe with each step. I can feel my heartbeat beating out my chest. 6 feet deep, finally get a little peace when I rest. Get a little sleep when I'm dead. Fill my veins with artificial love, go numb to escape the pain. Fill my drink, pour one up for myself to say goodbye to yesterday. Fill my veins with artificial love,
the only reason I'm on Minecraft chat
fill my drink.
Is, hold on, let me see if the game's public status. I think their game's still down for maintain. Oh, well. Hold on, chat. Save that for later, I guess. What the fuck? I just need the Fortnite YouTube channel. Wow. Damn. Okay. Videos. Is that the only one? Yeah, that's the only one. So that is the Cybertruck that they released. Now, I might have to hop on Fortnite. Holy shit. That Loki. Oh, let me reload. Watch that. Holy shit. That is crazy, guys. But yeah, let's just keep playing. That person joined that VC, so if I need to keep going, let's just go this way, and I have no idea where I'm at, actually. The map did not help at all. I mean, I could go underwater. Do I have doors? I can make a door. Okay. I'm gonna have to go down. Fuck. Yeah, I would have to go down. So I think it's available right now. So I think I might go stream that, guys. But yeah, because I gotta wait for him to be online to like get to South America, because currently he's at the water park. So I know this is a short one, but it was supposed to be me getting there, but now I'm just lost. I'm just lost. I mean, we could do ARG while we're at it. Ain't no way I made it. Let's just save and quit here for now. The fuck? What happened to all the water in there? I had ice. Let's watch an ARG chat. Let's just...
I'm Erica Swain.
Let's see, which one do we react to, chat? Which one? Alright, let's see. He has another YouTube channel?
OMG.
In another world.
We're in a world made of freaking cubes. You got holes through your heads, man.
I know, right? Isn't Xbox 8's a while.
This predates.
Check out my horror stories. You know what? Alright, community. Let's hear his song. Let's hear the song. Off to the races. I feel like this is gonna get me copyrighted. Coming soon. Let's join the Discord server real quick. Ah, the invite expired. Okay, let's start off with the first video. You know what? Wait, there's a short. Alright, so the first one, let's watch.
Hello. Welcome to a showcase, so to say, of something very special to me. This is this right here is a world that I used to play on with one of my buddies. My buddy Chris. Chris and I we used to play on this world all the time. In fact, I even have some of the graphical settings turned down to sort of mimic the old days. But I mean, this wasn't the first world we did, but I remember we got pretty far in this one. I think we have some other locations around. Unfortunately, I don't have all my stuff that was on my character, so I found this house here. I think this was one of the first ones we made. I think we moved. Didn't really get a chance to do too much with it. You can see here.
Bro is a certified. Like, hold on. What do you have
Moved.
in this chest?
Didn't really get a chance to do
let's see
too
what he
much with
had.
it.
Okay, oak planks, oak wads, another type of log, sticks, birch, oak, birch.
You can see here. There's some stuff, but I mean,
Only food and
I know we got further than this. There's got to be something. I mean, I know we got further than this. There's got to be something around here that. Well, it doesn't matter.
Bro, why is the music so loud?
Yeah. You know, it's been a while since I've played with Chris, and I figured it'd be a nice trip down memory lane to come see, you know, because I mean we stopped playing years ago. He went offline one day.
Turns. I mean, wait. Here, let's do that. Let's do the whiffles, like the breakdown. Alright, what happens? Alright.
Then he entered.
What if recording high-quality content, editing like a pro, and
Oh my
streaming
God.
like a star was as simple as hitting record? With Riverside...
So, you guys really like ARGs, huh? I appreciate all the criticism and suggestions from the last ARG, and we'll be working to improve from here. So, Andrew Gaming 67 was an ARG that someone recommended.
Alright, chat. So, I'm gonna go make food. I'm gonna go let this video play out. I shall be back, chat. And then I'm gonna hop on Fortnite and stream the new update. Shit like that. But I do want to watch this, so yes. Let's play.
So, you guys really like ARGs, huh? I appreciate all the criticism and suggestions from the last ARG, and we'll be working to improve from here. So, Andrew Gaming 67 was an ARG that someone recommended based off the last ARG video. And I actually did know what this one was, because Sagan Hawkins and 31UE have already done videos on them. So, to me, it felt a bit cheap just to go over the same ARG again. But what changed my mind was how much you guys really wanted to see me cover it, and that the ARG has new videos on it now. For those of you who enjoy this video, please check out the other Player 30 ARG video. And if you're interested in general analysis videos like these, check out my video on the Sandman game. Now, someone last time asked what an ARG is. So for anyone who stumbles across this video and does not know, an ARG, or alternate reality game, is effectively a series, usually through media, in which the viewer has to actively watch for moments such as codes or small blips in the series that are unnatural and can lead to the unraveling of this alternate world story. But without further ado, get a snack and some water, and let's get into talking about Andrew Gaming 67. Andrew Gaming 67 is a Minecraft ARG where we see our player, Andrew Gaming, looking back on an old Minecraft world that he played on with one of his online friends. Now we should actually look at the playlist section to understand the order and structure of this ARG. There are 5 public playlists, one called Fan Creations, which I'll mention later, it seems to be unofficial, but the other playlists separate the ARG into 3 acts as of now, and a playlist considering the ARG as a whole. We'll be using the big one that orders all of them in a row, because it also includes unlisted videos, so that makes it easier for us. Let's jump straight into the first video. The video opens up with Andrew on a world that he used to play with an online friend named Chris. The video looks super saturated with low settings, and Andrew explains that this is for him to reminisce about how it used to look. We learn that this area isn't their only house, but just a random one he found to restock on some stuff he used to have. He keeps talking about the world and walks around, eventually walking towards a nearby cave with some zombies in it. The zombies leave the cave and one has nearly full gold armor. Killing them, he gets the gold armor and a potato with some rotten flesh. After some more talking and walking around, an Enderman spawns and scares him into his house. The Enderman eventually leaves and the recording ends. But then we fast forward to later when Andrew is recording with lower audio quality, and it's nighttime in the world. He talks about the potato he noticed and he grabs it, and as he looks back into the forest a couple times, the video ends. Now, 2 things I noticed. In this shot, as Andrew's panning the camera at night, we can see what looks like a dark figure crouching in the distance, which vanishes when he checks it again. Another interesting thing I noticed is that Andrew is constantly pausing while speaking and staring out into the woods. This could be accidental, but it feels like Andrew wants to see if something else is out there, whether consciously or not. There's also the story that Andrew mentions about Chris.
I mean, we stopped playing years ago. He went offline one day, just, well...
So, It seems to be a story of Chris leaving and not coming back with no nose of where he is. With this information, we can move on to the next video, which is more than twice as long. In this video, we have Andrew wearing the same leather cap and gold pants as last time, as he decides to visit an old house of Chris's that is nearby. With this house, we learn two things. He loves building with mossy cobblestone, as Andrew says, how it was something of a calling card for him, and that all that was left in his house was a single bone in the furnace slots. Next to the house, as the sun sets, Andrew tells a story about Chris's mine, and why he put a sign on it. While talking, a zombie in full golden armor appears again and attacks Chris. Andrew heads back home and sleeps. Waking up the next day, he walks around to find a brick well that Chris made, and talks about how Chris used to make random objects to make the world feel more alive. He then leaves the well, and we cut back to the birch house while it is dark and raining. Andrew calls himself an idiot for gathering seeds, and not remembering how wheat literally gives you more seeds when you replant it. And he just rambles on for a little bit. But 2 points of this raining section I'd like to bring attention to are here when Andrew looks off in the distance for a moment, as on the top of this tree, we can see what looks a little bit like a player figure. And then on one of the very last frames, we can see what looks like another figure outside the window. Again, it is a little hard to tell, but it's not impossible. Also, if you're noticing compared to my last ARG, I'm doing more describing than analyzing, as I'd like to leave the analysis for when I finish each act of the ARG, so that we can get a more coherent story from these videos. Speaking of which, the next is only 53 seconds and titled, Hello. In this video, which is unlisted from the channel, we can see a different perspective of when Andrew was around the well. We see him at daytime and nighttime, of which he fights off monsters around the well. Not a lot of story per se, but we know someone is watching Andrew. The next video shows Andrew playing around with a new texture pack. It's raining and dark out, but he still chooses to go out and explore a bit. Andrew relays tales about how Chris was much more of a tech wizard than Andrew was, and in the middle of this ramble, discovers a baby zombie pigman, but then gets hit into a deep cave and dies. After this, he goes to sleep for when it's safe to go out. Cutting to him trying to get his stuff back, a creeper blows up behind him, or presumably a creeper, because there was no in-game audio for the whole video. So he falls and has to fight zombies to get his stuff back and survive, but wait, there's mossy cobble on the floor, and he beat me to it. Damn it. So yeah, while editing, Andrew noticed that there was mossy cobblestone, and that he did not have it in his inventory before. Chris's calling card. This poses an interesting question. How did it get there, or who put it there? The next video is the Fourth World Showcase, which has some noticeably different audio quality. Maybe Andrew got a new mic. He walks around as he talks about the weird anomaly of the mossy cobble, but not the figure in the distance that he clearly acknowledged in comments. Going farther, he finds an old spruce house that he and Chris made and reminisces about wandering through it. There's something he says specifically I want to mention, because supposedly this was an Xbox world. He plays with a controller, he confirms that they used a play on Xbox, but that he converted the world and there must have been some bugs from that, explaining the weird item glitches. This irks me. How does the environment have 1.18 caves then, and why the hell are you still playing on controller, as we don't know the timetable yet of when this world was created. Eventually, he finds a hidden passageway that was covered with a mossy cobble block. When falling into it, he finds a little stone room with all of a sudden loud creepy cave noises play. And something I'd like to note, I don't know if this is true, but every time I noticed a figure appear, it was usually accompanied with the music getting louder or a very creepy note from the music playing. Andrew reads the sign denoting this is one of Chris's secret rooms and that he was able to find it. In the chest next to the signs, there's a single bone, akin to the one found in his old house's furnace. Leaving the tunnel, he finds a well above ground, the same brick style as before. He leaves and tries to track back to his home when it gets really dark. We cut to him finally finding the way back home when he gets jumped by a skeleton in full golden armor. He runs to the well with the torch for safety until another zombie attacks. Notice anything familiar? This is Andrew's POV of the Hello video. After this, he goes back to the house and talks about YouTube and nostalgia until you are a creepy little fucker. So yeah, we can see this guy pretty clearly, even if for just a brief second. He scared the crap out of me when I first noticed him. Old Minecraft World Showcase Part 5 starts off with us in the menu, where Andrew displays that the world is not multiplayer, and that there are no add-ons that would make anything weird happen like people mention. He walks around through the world trying to find whatever this creature or figure is. Also, at 3:09, it kinda looks like some creepy dark figure is crouching walking by the cliff. I could be wrong and it's very difficult to tell, but to me, it does look sort of figure-y. Andrew talks more and more about Chris and his videos and talking about the weird figure people keep claiming to see. After a bit, he ends the recording, but decides to bring some more footage he found on his computer afterwards. This video being hello. I don't know why it's mentioned here and uploaded on the timeline before, but that's how it is. He doesn't know who or how the video is recorded by or how the music got into it, and he gets pretty scared. For someone who said that they didn't really believe or want to believe in this figure being a ghost and not just being a texture glitch, he's pretty spooked. He then says how he wants to take a short break and record at a different time to gather his thoughts a bit. This is immediately contradicted to his Next World showcase where he admits that he didn't take the break. But he's trying to rationalize the hello video by saying it must be an old buggy replay mod acting up or something like that. He hopes. He also mentions a fan-made video of someone who's stitched parts of the video together to show the perspectives side by side. And sidetracking for just a moment, the channel that made said video is named DottyCH, who has the video unlisted. Interestingly, this channel has a community post with 20 comments, one of which saying, "Hi, why did you delete the Minecraft nostalgia video?" Whether that's in reference to the unlisting of Andrew Gaming Edit or something else is a mystery to me. Going back to Andrew, he's looking around the well and finds the spot the replay mod recorded from. He tries to rationalize it when he notices a torch trail and finds a giant tunnel he recognizes.
Oh, wait, no. This was us. This was, we made this tunnel. We wanted to, we kept going over this mountain. I can't remember why, but it got annoying because it was just a long, I guess, walk? I don't know. It was something that got annoying, so we made a tunnel, although it probably took us longer to make the tunnel than it would be to just walk over the mountain.
Going through, he eventually finds a small stone fort by Chris named Fuerta de Chris. I definitely mispronounced that, didn't I? Nearby, he has building supplies and a furnace with a bone in it. He finds it weird, but decides to take it this time and tours the castle, even with how small of a fort it is. Heading back through the tunnel, he finds a door that definitely was not there before. After much deliberation, he opens it to find a large room with a well and a door on the opposite side of the room, while it blares one of the creepiest cave sounds Minecraft has to offer. After reminding himself it's just a game, he goes in and closes the door. After inspecting the room, he decides to walk through the other door, and I'll let Andrew take this one.
I saw it coming. The recurring nightmare. A dark, damp tomb. Never to be found. I don't know what that is. I really don't. This is weird. I don't like this.
After being rightfully confused, he opens the door only to find his only other exit is now blockaded and missing as if it never existed. Dumbass horror protagonist 101. The video ends on a skeleton bone rattle with no other information as to what could possibly happen. Old Minecraft Showcase Part 7 satisfies our desire to know more by opening up in a weirdly anticlimactic way. Andrew's in a creeper hole and explains that a creeper blew him up while he was trying to look in an area everyone said they saw the figure. Then an ominous Minecraft noise plays and seems to both creep out and annoy Andrew. He makes his shield and talks about how the viewers are what is keeping him playing this world, along with his curiosity. Going outside, one night he notices a path of trees with the leaves clipped, even making an offhand comment about Herobrine and how this used to be a telltale sign he was in your world. Ah, the good old days. I know this isn't related to the ARG, but I want to do a little story just to get this off my mind. Skip like, I don't know, a minute 30 if you don't want to hear it. I hate a lot of people younger than me, just because of how much people use trends as a personality. It's like living in 2011 Gmod with minge bags spamming random phrases. There's this annoying group of them that I know, and while I was around them, actively trying to ignore them, I heard one say, "Oh, I also found this new thing called MLG." It piqued my interest. The other two didn't even know what it was. These people are only like a year younger than me and don't remember it. It's just so weird nowadays. I say that as if I'm old, but I feel like everything else is just making me rapidly age. Yeah, I know, weird sidetrack, but nostalgia like this just makes you think, doesn't it? Someday this will happen for someone else and I'll have no clue what they're on about. Anyway, existential crisis aside, Andrew follows the trees and finds a stone and red brick building. After much paranoia, talking himself up, he braves the unknown building. The downstairs is sparse, with a boarded iron door and winding stairs. The second floor, nearly identical. The third floor is similar, but there's a window with a lever in front of it that has redstone to open the door. Opening the door, Andrew finds a very tall well, in which he reasonably says nope and tries to leave. Going downstairs, we hear a loud cave noise as we see a dark figure in the corner, and Andrew exclaims nope even louder and bravely runs away. Honestly though, if I saw that and then heard the equivalent of the predator clicking noise, I would rightfully run away as well. Andrew sits in his house until day and talks about how freaked out he is and how he wants to quit, but then has a change of heart and chooses he needs to brave this world. So he asks his audience if they know anything about command blocks that could fix the— Asshole, stop interrupting me. So yeah, he's there for a half second and then the video cuts to black. Andrew then explains that the video and Minecraft crashed, and then it might be a memory issue, that for real, he might need to take a break. Andrew's next video would come a month later, titled I'm Still Here. This video has the video quality significantly increased to a whole whopping 720p. I'm not sure how different the footage is to you now, but trust me, on my monitor, this makes a world of difference between guessing that's a birch leaf or the Hat Man. Andrew talks a lot about his life stressors, including school and family, but comes back to this. His mic seems more muffled this time, and he sounds so paranoid half the time. He tried going to Chris's old house, but hears a cave noise, so leaves. He explains that it's late and his voice is raspy and asks whether he should just make a new world and go through that, or go into the well. Interestingly, the title can be a double entendre. Andrew is still here, but so is the figure. But even if he is, he's starting to go crazy, at least a little, if not depressed in a way. His tone is hopeless and dead, but he can't leave the cycle he's in. The next video is Towers, and before looking at it, there's a description. The echo of my voice ricochets off of the brick lining of my watery tomb. Forever I rest in this damp room. Pretty dark, but let's look at the rest of the video before we make any assumptions. We start where Andrew apparently died and had to get everything back. He says that he knows he has a lot to explain and we've been waiting, but he says he's been doing a lot, gesturing at the nether portal. He then brings up a comment about someone recommending him use a water-breathing potion for the well. He has a brewing stand, glass bottle, and some blaze powder he got. After off-screen mining for nether wart, he comes back and finishes his potion. After trying to kill an enderman and failing spectacularly, Andrew picks up his potion and decides to go into the well, unarmed and with no armor. Taking a block of dirt from outside to get onto the well and chugging his potion, he descends. But then, we see that the audio and video corrupted, according to Andrew, and any footage left has no audio at all. We cut back to Andrew, who's in the bottom of a well, and we see text that claims he has no way to explain the next segment of video. Bobbing up, we see an XP orb on the roof of the brick tower in the sky with a path leading off into the distance. Moving closer to this bridge, we can see there's another tower connected and a small staircase down. Andrew opts to use what looks like a maintenance shed on the roof, which doesn't appear to go down. Using some scaffolding, he climbs up and finds a chest with a singular bone in the center. Then the video ends. I didn't see any entity sightings, and for those who find the villager in the video odd, it was established previously that that's just the skin for the wandering trader, for some reason without his llamas. I also like the comment comparing this to that one Gmod Towers map, Gmod 13 Sky Hotel, I think. I'm likely wrong. If I do find an image of it or the name, I'll prop it up here. Images of Towers.mp4 is an odd break in the series. It's a video of, who would have thunk, images of brick towers, some curved, some apartment buildings, and some tall, featureless obelisks. All to the sounds of melancholy Minecraft music. Then, at the end, is a single darkened image of a well with a subtle rumbling noise in the background. The next video is titled Leave, with a description, or Stay for Eternity. In the start of the video, we are where we left off, and can actually spot the dark figure peeking their head near the edge of the tower. The player runs to the stairs immediately and finds themselves in a bland brick hallway with lanterns and a single bat. The bat then disappears right before the player's eyes when another one is behind the corner on the right. The player walks through some rooms trying to get a sense for what is in there, and we can see a flash of the dark figure floating in the hall and then flies away. Some rooms lead outside, some are blank, and one has a window. But going down the hall, we see what looks like an apartment elevator entrance. He finds a dark hallway and goes through it only to find an equally dark, empty room. Walking back, he goes to the light section where we can see a shadow, and then it cuts back to him in the hallway, trying to get to the lighter hallways again. In doing so, he finds a sign at the end that simply says, "Leave." All the rooms on the floor have their doors open, so he leaves up the stairs and looks around, eventually seeing the dark figure walking the bridge to the other tower, crossing to the other side. Our last video in Act 1 is Garden in the Sky, with a description that says, "The garden in the sky, as tranquil as death." We start with Andrew walking the 1 block wide bridge to cross onto the next tower. A hedge blocks a part of the roof, and it looks like there's a bat or vex on a lead in the distance. Walking into the top room of the tower, there's a sign that says that this is a pit of purification, and another sign in front of a bed saying to purify your soul. The pit's full of lava, and Andrew runs back to the previous tower. He grabs the bone from the top of the chest and runs back. Putting his items in the ender chest, he sets his respawn and jumps into the pit. Waking up on the other side of that fence, he goes down another dark hallway with a sign saying, "No going back" at the end. Entering the garden, there's multiple parrots on leads attached to spruce archways. Eventually, Andrew finds a mossy cobbled structure. Going further through the hedge maze, Andrew finds an open well and jumps in. Going to the bottom, there's a long brick hallway with a door leading to a blank, white void. So, that is the end of Act 1. And before I pose my own theories, I'd actually like to look back on those who have already made theories on this series. As I said earlier, I'm not the first to do Andrew Gaming 67. There are 3 theories I'd like to look at first. One being from Sagan Hawkins, who made a video about Ghost in the Machine ARGs, and gave his theories before Act 1 even finished. Then 31UE, a YouTuber who made a great analysis of Andrew Gaming, but a little further back in time, so he doesn't have much past Act 2. And this comment from one of the last videos right here. So let's look at this one by one. First, I want to consider Sagan Hawkins' theory. He posed an idea that I somewhat agree with about how the towers and wells could represent of a goal and position. He mentioned specifically how the tarot card of the tower can mention unfortunate events or destruction. Chris wants to go to the land of towers, heaven, but for some reason is trapped in the bottom of the well, hell, or even Earth itself. Next is 31UE, who posed a few theories in his video, but I just rather point out his ideas of Andrew being manipulated, whether that be by Chris or an unknown third party. Whether it's by Chris to understand the dangers of the towers or something else, I may be misrepresenting their theories a bit, but I just wanted to give a very basic overview so that after this you could check out their theories to see what they really thought beforehand. Lastly is this comment by user Yusuf Deebs, I think that's how you say it. They posed the theory of a, what's a friendly way to say this? Blood pact? Yeah, good enough. Where Chris would go into a well and not come up, and Andrew would mysteriously fall off a building. But Andrew's guilt of not following through is causing him trauma and making him cloud his own memory. While the bones are something left behind by Chris. Now, time for my current theory, and I'm going a little farther out. I think that Chris joined an Ascensionism cult. Okay, hold on and hear me out for a minute. There are a lot of cults that believe you need to purify yourself before you can go off into the great beyond. For example, I'm pretty sure it was Heaven's Gate is the one that they all drank applesauce mixed with cyanide during a meteor passing so that they can ascend, to leave their mortal vessels behind and purify themselves. What do we see in the garden video? We see a purification station where Andrew needs to lay in bed and then jump into a lava pit, leaving all the possessions he had behind, including a bone of Chris, leaving behind some semblance of possibly remembering or caring of Chris. That might not be true, but some symbolic thing with Chris. Maybe an idea that with all the bones or parts of himself left behind, that he will get them back when he ascends. If I remember correctly, there's a biblical story about how humanity wanted to visit heaven. So they tried building a giant tower to God, but this was seen as foolish by God, so he made humans speak different languages so they couldn't work on it together. To me, this might be Chris who is brainwashed, trying to convince Andrew from the other side to leave his mortal possessions behind as he did and join the rebuilding of the tower. This one even has its own man-made Garden of Eden. Parrots tied down so that they stay in the garden. Birds tethered to never use their wings for escape. An interesting metaphor to me, personally, but that's my theory so far. So let's get back into it and see what else we can find. In the start of Act 2, now in the official Act 2 playlist, there are only 6 episodes. But in the full compiled playlist, there are 2 in between Act 1 and 2. So let's look at these real quick. Leithprotocol.mp4 has a description stating, "You are only prolonging the inevitable." Before we analyze the video, something stuck out to me. Leith sounds too specific to be just some random word. Looking up Leith Protocol brings us a project in Europe for Alzheimer's patients. Looking up Leith on its own, we find that it has Greek origin as a river in Hades, the Greek mythological underworld, to help the dead forget their past lives. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. The video starts with an awful droning noise, and the player we follow being presumably our mysterious dark figure. The captions state, "I'm running it. Of course I'm running it. He's gotten too far already." The figure gets to a sign pointing in opposite directions for different numbers while saying, "He's just gonna make the same mistake I did. I run the protocol, wipe his save data, his memory. It won't solve this, but it might buy us some time." The figure walks through room 11 and says, "Eventually he'll remember just like I did. Just prolonging the inevitable. God." The figure finishes putting in the code for the room and presses a button that starts the protocol. After affirming to himself he needs to do this, the system activates the Leith Protocol, erasing the data of Subject 136, Andrew. The video ends with, "A new day begins." He's still here in our next video, where we catch from an outside perspective as Andrew breaks down trees in a new area. He's just playing and we're just watching. After a bit, we cut to outside Andrew's newly made house, where it almost looks like he sees us and the figure needs to hide behind a bush in the snow. With that, we move on to the official start of Act 2, Minecraft Survival Let's Play, Episode 1. Andrew opens the new video by introducing himself as if it's our first time meeting him, and is thoroughly confused on why so many people are subscribed to him with no videos. Though confused, he wants to record for the audience. He says it's not the first YouTube video he's ever made. Sometimes he'd record with friends on games like Halo with Chris. He says how all his old world's corrupted, so he needed to make a new world, and starts to talk more about his texture pack and past. Fast forwarding, there's a comment that says at 3:27 you can spot Chris holding an invisibility potion. But it's so hard to tell. If I can focus on it, I'll try, but I don't see it as of now. After building his house and talking more, he eventually walks out to cut down another tree, when he sees an oak sign simply stating, "Leave," which is odd when he's in a spruce forest. The next episode starts with Andrew in an upgraded house with glass windows and a dog, but only 1 heart of health. He then references a community post, which, oh yeah, I forgot about those. So in the community post, Andrew had shown a picture of a chicken while complaining about how 90% of his footage is just gone. He also asks for building suggestions. And I'm gonna be honest, most of these community posts are pretty negligible. They're like subscriber milestone thank yous and saying, hey, next video will be out in this amount of time. So not that important to the ARG from what I've seen, but I could be wrong and they could be used for completely subliminal messaging that I didn't see. Back to the video, he gets an egg and throws it to get a new baby chick. He then describes how his recording has been acting up, as nothing is saving when or where it should. I feel you, buddy. He decides to name the big chicken Goob and asks for baby chicken names and wolf names. He also mentions how he wants to make a farm outside, but that he's scared to leave because there might be a monster outside. A monster, you say? He then tells us how he found mossy cobble underground when he was mining, maybe an indicator of a monster. After a bit, he tries to talk about the sign from last time, and how that sign is now gone. No clue how. He doesn't know what to do about it, but he doesn't care, so he's gonna roll with it. He uses the same excuse as the first act, where it may just be an old mod pack acting up. He then says how he wants to build a suggestion, and says he will not build a well, but that it reminded him of his buddy who would always build wells in his old world. But he couldn't see them because the old worlds were corrupted. Before he's about to build the suggestion, we cut to him editing where he said the footage of him building the tower largely corrupted. Back in the world, we see Andrew with the nearly completed tower, talking and gathering resources. he starts to reminisce about the tunnel that he once built with Chris, the 3x3 tunnel. While he's talking about building, we can see a glimpse of mossy cobblestone in the wall of the tower. Andrew wanders around a bit more and talks about old Minecraft and then closes the video. The description of the video, which I forgot to mention, states, "Might play a bit off camera and show you guys what I do. Thanks!" He won't forget forever. The next video in Andrew's new series starts immediately with a giant cobblestone wall protecting his land. After showing off a little what he made, Andrew shows how he found vines using shears and can make mossy cobble now. Yay! He then decides to name the dog Chris, of course. He also says if Chris is watching, please respond to his messages. While he's trying to explain to the viewers that the particles they saw were tipped arrows and not invisibility, like they say in the last video, the description says, "Despite the chaos, thank you for 5,000 subscribers. We're monetized now, and I can't believe it. You guys are the best. P.S. I will not be doing non-skippable ads and mid-roll ads, at least on shorter videos. Mid-roll ads / unskippable ads annoy me, so you guys shouldn't have to deal with it too." He found it. Well, while I was talking, Andrew found these giant craters in the nearby ice, but he hadn't made them. So he decides to look around for clay. One of the craters he finds looks like it's been dug out of the bank on the river. He eventually dives and finds a single piece of clay. Confused and a little frustrated, he gives up and tries to go back home, until he falls through powdered snow into a small cave with a bed, campfire, chest, and some mossy cobble. Of course. He panics and asks if he's having another bad dream, but he made none of it. The chest has a stack and 27 of clay. He tries to explain it by mod or new generation and mines out the mossy cobblestone to escape near the river. He goes back up to where he fell and digs it out where we can hear this little bite. I love the caption, a good way to add a lighthearted joke. He ends the video in a distressed tone and says he should do something else. Episode 4 has a description that says, "Discord server coming soon," though it is incomplete. The passageway to the sky has been constructed. It won't be much longer. I must do something. Possibly giving credence to my Tower to Heaven theory. But probably not. Andrew starts off in the house smelting bricks. He talks a little about real life and how he wants to make a band with his friends for the summer. Just anything other than the off-putting world he's on, but he doesn't just want to leave us. Aw, how sweet. After a little bit, he decides to go caving, and a lot of what he talks about is just his channel and Minecraft, and it feels like a regular playthrough. But then he mentions how he found a realm saved to the cloud that wasn't deleted. After a lot of exploring, he finds things like a deep dark, diamonds, iron, and a bunch of mobs he had to deal with, too. Then he heads back to the surface to sort his goodies. After getting his building materials sorted, he decides to make a well close to the mysterious hole he found earlier. And as he builds, a cave noise plays. Someone said something about there being a door at 24:30, which I do not believe Andrew explained, so looks like his obliviousness persists. Or it's something he just built.
At Dorothy Lane Market, we are committed to sourcing meats that are lifetime free of antibiotics, contain no added hormones, and are raised humanely on a vegetarian diet. The trusted experts in our meat departments bring decades of experience and offer USDA prime steaks, air-chilled chicken, premium pork, DLM natural beef, and locally raised grass-fed beef. Our high-quality standards mean we make sure you have the freshest experience from our stores to your table.
The next video is titled Exploring My Old Minecraft Realm. It starts with Andrew promoting his Discord in the description, with another message underneath. I wasn't careful enough. He definitely saw me. He mustn't return to the land of towers. Leaf is reversible. Andrew starts off in the Friends realm he mentioned last time. Andrew starts touring the area and we see the painting again. It was in Act 1, but it seems to be the only replaced painting. I just don't know what it is. And this was also something 31UE focused on too. What is this painting? Because it's definitely not that natural. He explores more, finds caves, scary sound comes out, he leaves, and he keeps exploring while talking about the realm and his friends. I know I'm skipping a lot of it, but a majority of it is just talking, reminiscing, and he talks about some minor things he mentioned like Bogland. There's also a lot of decently funny moments in this video. I actually recommend checking it out if you just want to watch like an old Minecraft playthrough. It's in a funny style, there's some nice jokes, and it's pretty nice to watch. If any ARG relevant points stick out, I'll mention them, but otherwise, I'll let you guys go out and watch the video if you just want to hear what he talks about regarding his friends. I'll only drop in when things get weird. Speaking of which, Andrew finds a small lake with a lot of XP floating about it. At one point, after leaving a strip club, yes, that happens, he looks into the sky and sees multiple phantoms. I normally wouldn't point this out, but there's like 20 of them. But they're not attacking him, just floating in the sky. One of them tries to jump into the ground, but they seem to be following someone else. Someone underground, someone Andrew can't see. After a cut, the phantoms suddenly disappear, so he decides to check out the old lighthouse when he suddenly notices a dark figure inside. But he thinks it's just an Enderman. When he gets to the top, however, it's gone. But while he's looking out the window, it's possible to see a floating empty potion bottle. Andrew doesn't notice, but decides to just leave. Nothing else of note really happens. The next video is Something is Happening, where the description states, "I'm not sure what's going on, but I don't like it. I'll continue making videos. Thanks for the support." You're only prolonging the inevitable. 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 In this video, Andrew talks about his recent upload and points out the glass bottle. He thinks maybe it was an invisible armor stand, even though it just looks like an invisible player, and he's freaking out about it.
What is up, chat?
He says he'll make a
I'm
new
back.
video soon, but he's just really shaken right now. Episode 5 of Andrew's Let's Play is next with a description of, "I officially hate the Nether. If I
Who
destroy it,
doesn't?
he won't be able to get back." Andrew starts off from coming out of the cave with some obsidian for a portal he wants to make.
W.
We also get a response to the door in the wall. Andrew had made it previously. Andrew goes into the Nether and tries to mine gold and gets pushed off a ledge and then dies. After getting his stuff back, a fire charge hits him and scares him, but I personally don't think it was a ghast, just based on the angle of the area behind him. Maybe it was someone holding a fire charge. After his dangerous trek through the Nether, he eventually gets back to the overworld and talks a bit more. He does an outro and cuts the footage, but then he comes back. He says how he was going to start mining, but found his well destroyed. He gets closer and we hear an ambient cave sound, even though he's not in the cave. He doesn't think it's a creeper explosion, though. He starts to go from panicked to really annoyed and angry, and with a frustrated tone, he cuts the video. Episode 6 starts normally and has no description. Andrew looks like he's far away from his house and explains he was exploring and has quite a few resources. He makes some eyes of Ender and starts walking while venturing a bit, talking about his future, considering how he now has his high school diploma. He eventually finds what looks like a third of a house and decides to inspect it, blaming its generation and the broken tree on new chunks. He takes the stuff from it and heads back to his house. Looking in his ender chest to put the diamonds in, he finds Chris's bone and the empty water-breathing potion he put in Act 1, Chekhov's gun. After taking them out, he seems to get a little headache, but at about 13 minutes and 40 seconds, Andrew takes a long pause and decides to rebuild the well. Not even getting mad when he falls down a pit. He makes no commentary as he rebuilds the wall. He just does it. Only light breathing and clicking of his controller until he cuts and says how everything has just come back to him. It seems that the Leith protocol is wearing off. We only get a little bit of commentary from what he's saying as he tries to get materials to rebuild the well, and then he says this.
Do you ever wonder that while you're in the ice cold, freezing waters below the ice, if your Minecraft character feels how cold it is? Or
No.
do you feel nothing?
I feel
A
nothing.
pretty odd comment. He says how he's going to leave many of his materials behind and only keep what he needs. He removes his armor, shield, and starts to say goodbye to some of his animals. Not with words, but with silence. I'm going to let this last part play with sound.
Patience. It's too quick.
Hold up. That's a creeper. Sounds like a creeper's about to go off.
Patience. It's too quick to place that. A creeper snuck up behind me. It's not gonna matter anyways.
Why is that?
Guess that's it then. If I don't do it now, I won't ever do it.
Seriously.
Wow. Personally, that was incredible. The song you just heard, by the way, was actually titled Chris by C418 and is a song on the Minecraft album soundtrack. But this is the end of Act 2, and oh my god, was it great. Besides the upgraded 1080p for recording, yes, I noticed, thank you, Andrew, I didn't have to scrunch my face against the screen to try and find 4 black pixels this time, but also gives us a lot of new information to cover. The story seems to be going into a sci-fi direction, kind of similar to what I thought before, a cult. Possibly not a religious cult, but there is some form of scientific facilities within this ARG. Chris, or whom we assume is Chris, wiped Andrew's memory and channel, corrupted his world and his mind, so he starts a new series. The Leith Protocol seems to be some MKUltra type mind erasure thing. How this works both digitally and physically is unknown, but it can target specific memories, or parts of them. Interestingly, Andrew is Subject 136, so maybe Chris is working with some organization to test Andrew on what or how, who knows. Personally, other than this act validating my beliefs of some secret cult/organization linking the purifying wells to ascending to towers, I can't really make out what Andrew's trying to tell us. Also, I will mention this later, but remember about Andrew wanting to start a band? Well, he has a Spotify which has the songs and a YouTube channel for the music videos. I'll have it labeled and linked in the description, so check it out if you're interested. The music seems pretty good, not my style personally, as I'm someone more into classic rock, but I can tell it's pretty nice. But without further ado, let's jump straight into Act 3. Our first video of Act 3 is Scraping the Sky, with the description stating, "Just where exactly are you trying to go?" Andrew wakes up in the well and sees paintings of the Wanderer and the one mystery painting we keep seeing. Maybe this is a cult dedicated to wandering science and whatever the one is supposed to mean. Going through a brick hall, we can find more of these paintings in an odd room that looks like it were ready for a board meeting. We again, like the last time we were here, have no audio with just a droning noise throughout. Andrew finds a dark stairwell and decides to descend it. We get no noise until we reach the bottom of the staircase, where Andrew opens a door to a melodic piano with a sign saying, "I told you to leave."
No.
Another sign behind it, "But you didn't listen." Turning the corner, we see one more. "You never did listen." Andrew rushes through the door in front of him and falls down a 3x3 well like a stupid Looney Tunes character. A door in front of him allows him to escape, where he comes into a dilapidated brick hall with old broken floors. A sign says, "Curiosity killed the cat. How curious are you?"
Very.
With a trap door laying behind it. Andrew turns back and goes back into the giant well, grabs a water bottle, and decides that he has no other option but to jump. He finds himself in water surrounded by more towers. He decides to explore and look around at the many towers and wells that seem to surround him. Andrew looks at the bridge, finalizing his next choice. The next video is titled His World, with a new place as the description. We start immediately where we ended last, with Andrew's stubbornness for closure leading him through the unknown land of towers. He uses a well to travel into a new world, a jungle area, but now we have Andrew's voice back as we hear lightning. and some exasperated breathing from Andrew's voice as he exits. He's thoroughly confused and tries to make any sense of it, but
that's probably true. Let's go to and this. Andrew Gaming playlist. So it's his world. This one.
Oh, you think you suck? I think that's unlikely. You can keep on looking, but can't find nobody like me. I'm president of a white tee. You know I love you. I need someone who can guide me. I can do a little bad. I need 3 mil.
Okay. No, that's all we need to know.
just can't. He says he remembers the first time he was there, or what he thinks is the first time. A gap in memory, but he doesn't recognize the world, so he just doesn't understand why the well brought him here. He dubs the area the Land of Towers, and says that while he's there, he physically cannot speak. That's why he's silent there. But then he finds a new area. Another well and some buildings with mossy cobble and mossy stone bricks. Looking into the well, it's empty, and that confuses Andrew. But the place he is in seems familiar to Andrew. He walks towards the wood and mossy cobble house, and it says Chris's shack. He goes in to sleep in its bed, but the rain and darkness won't let up. He takes the book from the house that says Journal 1 and decides to read it. I'll let Andrew read it because my throat's getting a little sore, I'm going to be honest, and I'm sure you guys are curious on how he sounds.
Alright, I'll read this for your guys' ease. I've always been fond of Minecraft notebooks. To be able to write a long string of text with an item inside of a video game for no one to ever read. There is something magical about it.
What the foot? You know what?
I'd beg to differ,
Not
but
worth it.
whatever. So that is why I'm writing today. Because no one will ever read this, and I've made a discovery. Well, you're wrong there, but one that I cannot share with anyone. Because who in their right mind would believe me? I was doing some experimenting with builds in another creative world when I built something. Something that has more power than any redstone machine ever built. That's a bold claim. This is the first in a series.
Alright. Like, okay, yeah. Chat, I would let this finish, but I feel like I'm gonna get copyright striked. Shout out to Mush the Skeleton. Where's my door? Okay, yeah.
Series of notebooks that I will be hiding in order to preserve this information.
Alright, chat. So, that's where I'm ending this stream. I shall be streaming Fortnite soon as I get over to my PlayStation. But soon as I end the stream, I shall be going to stream that. With that being said, thank you for watching. I'm glad we reacted. But I shall see y'all in the next one.